Yes, my people, good day. No, I'm just kidding. All right, that's a tribute to my buddy Rasta Mans. I figured I'd make a video for you guys on how to align an aftermarket fender. Clearly, it didn't fall into place. Got weird alignments. All the bolts are in, but not tight. So, what you want to do when you start aligning a panel is you want to start against the panels that you know are in the right place. The door's in the right place. So we're going to line up to the door. The pillar is absolutely in the right place. So we're going to line up to the pillar. And there's a bolt almost on every fender right in there. Sometimes it's going this way. Sometimes it's like this one going this way. Sometimes it's visible right here. But this one, it's in there. So we're going to have to open the door to do it. That's where you want to start. So I'm going to push this fender until I have it. Being careful not to nick up there. That's I mean, you could put a piece of tape on the pillar if you want. If you want to make sure that you don't scratch it as you go here. But I'm actually not too worried about how big this gap is, because we can adjust that still after this bolt is tightened, because the bolt is that way. What I'm more concerned about is the in and out, because that's the way the bolt is facing. And then we want to come down here, we want to look from this angle. We want to make sure that it's flush with the door and that the body line lines up perfectly. Once you have that, notice how we're still not very good up here. Okay, so if I tighten that bolt, this is going to be sticking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist the top of this fender a little bit. Pull it out, and I'm just going to twist it a little bit. Better to do a little bit than a lot, because you can always try again. It's harder for it to take it back once you've done it. So I'm going to get it lined up with that body line again. It's still a little wonky, but it's better than it was. So let's get this bolt tight, and we'll move from there. As I'm doing this, I was too far in, so I'm going to let it out a little bit. You might have to close this door 10, 12 times to get it in a good spot, and you got to realize that that's okay. If you think it could be a little better, taking the time now is worth it. That's pretty good. Body line lines up. When putting a fender on, you actually want it to be a little bit out from the door. Barely. You never want it to be in. Like if this is the door, you never want it to be in, because that'll create a wind gap into the door and create a wind noise. So the fender being out a little bit, just a little bit, keeps the air flowing down the side of the car. Okay, so now because I have a bigger gap here than I want to have, I'm going to have to use these bolts over here on this plane in order to push the fender that way and lock it into place. Thing is, I don't want to line up to the hood yet, so I'm going to do it just to lock it in place, and then I'm going to loosen it later to do the hood gap. But I need to close this gap up in order to finish the rest of the bolts that go down this edge and the two that are down in here, and get this gap right. So this is just a temporary tightening that I'm about to do right here. A little pressure this way. Closes it right up. Hit the bolt, tighten it up. Now that's gorgeous. Now we got a nice gap compared to the other side, just to make sure that you're doing it right. Some cars have tighter gaps than others. So now we have the bolts that are inside here, and again we just want to make sure that it's not into the door, which it is right now. See, I can see the door edge. If I put my hand on the inside and I push out, you see how that becomes flush, much nicer. So I'm gonna push that out and tighten up those bolts now. Okay, most Fenders that you'll see have two bolts that go down from the outside and into the rocker pinch weld, but Audis have them on the inside going this way. So I'm going to tighten those. There are two of them right now. And it's important just to have it lined with the rocker and with the door, so that the door and the fender make a straight line. Looks like one continued panel, just with a little gap in the middle. Okay, I'm happy with that. Again, this how wide this gap is still adjustable, because I am going to loosen that. Twisting the top actually did pretty well, because when I adjust this to the hood, it looks like it'll sit quite nicely to the pillar. I mean, it's not perfect, but I mean, factory's not perfect. This isn't even factory, so do the best we can with what we got. All right, so the next step would be to start going to the hood. So we're going to shut the hood, take a look at what it looks like. And as we shut the hood, as it's the first time, we're going to make sure that there's no contact. I'm slowly shutting the hood. It's not going to touch. Hold it down. That gap looks beautiful, except for back there. I'm going to push it in a little bit, tighten that back one, and see what it looks like. Snug. That's nice to there. Check the hood. Make sure it doesn't push right on the edge, not on any flat panel area. Yeah, besides him not getting. That's really good. I'm going to go down and tighten them all. I like it. Look at the other side, make sure it's the same. This side's tighter. The other side is tighter, so we're going to get it tighter. That's gorgeous. All right. So that's really that's the whole gig, because you don't really have to do much down here. Usually there's not much adjustment there, and just zip them up. Bob's your uncle. Yay!